is uh, my last coaching gig. Our head coach told me one day, he was like, "Man, Coach Johnson, you are you have a high football IQ. You're really good at scheme. Especially from the offensive side of the ball, but even from special teams point of view, you're really good at teaching the players and getting them to do the things that you want them to do. But you are terrible at personnel." And uh, and I couldn't realize it, or at least I didn't understand why. I knew why he was saying it, but I couldn't understand why I was so bad at personnel until this weekend when I was thinking about Travis Kelsey, right? Because I was trying to think, even before I had my little hot take that obviously went wrong prior to this year, or prior to the beginning of the season, uh, I really didn't like Travis Kelsey. I was like, I knew, that he was productive on the field. I didn't really like him, and I couldn't understand why. And I was like, oh, I get it now. I get it. Uh, I am such an idealist, and I'm such a, root for, hey, things supposed to go this way, bam, bam. You're supposed to, eight-yard route. You're supposed to do it 8 yards and do it this way, and then turn around at this spot and cut clean here, right? And Travis Kelsey does not do that. But Travis Kelsey is a master at just, hey, I'm just gonna get open. He's a master at it. He is a master at it. And so which was obvious on that the play to get them in the field goal range. And he does that all the time, and it does not look like it's drawn up on the whiteboard. And a part of me that just irks the crap out of me. A part of me that just irks the crap out of me because I'm like, hey, Airbnb has spent many hours on the whiteboard trying to scheme you up, and you just throw that out the window and say, okay, hey, look, I'm just going to drop right here in this zone. And so that's yeah, it's beautiful, especially when it works, but it works often, but it doesn't. It's not whiteboard consistent. So that's all. So yeah. So because of stuff like that, that's why I have some terrible takes when it comes to personnel stuff. But I'm glad Travis Kelsey was able to help me to grow in that department this weekend. So
what I hear you saying is you're more so of a textbook guy, and maybe
idealist.
Another idealist, another analogy that I take from what you said is you're more of a color within the lines, none of that abstract stuff outside of the lines with other different colors. You don't want a Picasso. You want A, B, C, D, and the colors are supposed to be put inside these color shades type of guy.
Yep.
Hey, War, you got to learn about Coach Johnson today. Count your blessings. Nah, man. Hey, Coach Johnson, I give you high praise for revealing that, being transparent about that. Because it's easy to be like, hey, man, yeah, so much for Travis Kelsey falling off that cliff, and even for you to even furthermore be just like, I ain't like him because I ain't really like the routes, but but yeah, respect to you for that, man. Much respect to you for that. Was this a great offensive battle, or was this poor defense, poor defensive assignment when you talk about this Bills Chiefs game?
I think it was great offense the last 10 minutes of the game. I think the defense is, for the first 3 quarters, actually played pretty sound. I mean, if you look at the quarter box scores, right? You had first quarter 7-7, second quarter 7-7, third quarter 7-9, and then an explosion in the fourth quarter, and really in the last 5 minutes or so, where the defense is just, the offensive power just happened to take over. You had coverage busts on both ends that started to happen. Both I mean, it's a combination of the two. Both offenses finally started to try to, strike it while it's hot. They stopped trying to get cute. They started to, hey, you know what? Let's put the ball in our best players' hands, right? And then, when it counted, right? So they didn't, hey, on 3rd and 2, let's not. Hey, on 3rd and 2, how about this? We're the Bills. Let's hand it off to our guy who is not really a polished receiver or not really a great running back, but he was a good track guy. So on 3rd and 2, let's give it to him instead of giving it to our 6'5", 245-pound quarterback who's been running all over the defense. Oh, dang it, on 4th and 1, let's punt. Oh, hey, we're the Chiefs. Hey, look, hey, we don't want Patrick Mahomes doing a quarterback sneak. So we got Blake Bell. He used to play quarterback. He's gonna do it. It's 3rd and 1, and Tyreek Hill just almost scored on a punt return, and we're gonna run the ball 3 times in the red zone. We're not gonna let Patrick Mahomes touch the ball at all. We're gonna give it to Blake Bell, and he's gonna run the option. And oh snap, we lose 4 yards. Hey, we gotta kick the field goal. None of that happens in the 4th quarter. In the 4th quarter, they were like, okay, hey, you know what? Give the ball to our guys and let our guys show it up, and then that made the defense look stupid. And it was nice to see. It was incredible to see these boys battle it out. So, but you did have some coverage busts at the end of the game, though. It was pretty bad on the Chiefs. Gabriel Davis is good. I'm done. Gabriel Davis is good. He's not 4 touchdowns, 200 yards good.
With Travis Kelce being unique of a player like that, I just think it breeds certain moments to where, hey, look, I can go off schedule. Maybe, certain routes and certain players and certain teams, and we see it all the time. You play it by the book so much, you can run right into coverage and, you force your quarterback to, thread the needle and make mistakes that he doesn't necessarily have to make if you make an intelligent enough football play. But a lot of the times, that quarterback and tight end or quarterback receiver connection isn't as, kinetic or magnetic as Kelce and Mahomes is. They always, seemingly on the same page, right? Always wanting to, hey, one band, one sound. I already used the Big Brother Iron Man reference, earlier. And I just think, like I said, they on one accord. But, man, you want to talk about the Chiefs just, being who I thought they were. Let's talk about it. Like, my God, this man Patrick, I've never seen anything like it. Like, I don't want to say it because it's too early. I don't want to be Nick Wright on the show per se and just be a homer. But Patrick Mahomes, outside of Tom Brady, because Tom Brady is like at that God level that MJ is at as far as like with basketball. You want to put him aside, bro, he's the most clutch player that I've ever seen. And he's only been in the league 4 or 5 years. It's absolutely unreal what he's done in the most pressurized situations. The lowest accomplishment that he has had with the ending of a season is ending it in the AFC Championship game. I just want that to sink in with everybody. Like, that's like his floor. Like, if I don't do else and, the season don't go the way I want it to go, we losing the AFC Championship game. Some teams never reach it. Texans have never been there as a franchise. We've been around for 20 plus years. He's been there 4 times. Or this is going to be 4, because it's coming. We know. You better know. But, just a complete, like you said, Coach, explosion in the 4th quarter. Just a complete command of the offense. And I want to give my kudos and flowers to Josh Allen right now because, like everybody did, come to the consensus, man, he's a top 5 quarterback in the league, hands down, right? Like he cemented that, with this playoff run, and I feel like that just speaks to the greatness even more of Patrick Mahomes. That's why you pay this man $500 million. That's why you do it, literally for like 2 nights ago. That's why you do that. That's why you pay that man $500 million, because nobody else on planet Earth could have came back. 13 seconds, number 1 defense in the league, number 1 in points allowed, number 1 in yards allowed. That same defense yeah, I'm gonna go down the field in 13 seconds and get us in field goal range, and you're not gonna touch the ball in OT, and we're gonna kill you. And by the way, the Chiefs campaigned for the rules to be different so the other team could have a chance. And to all the people that's on Twitter, on social media going crazy, oh, they really need to change the rules. The Chiefs campaigned and banged on the table for the rules to be changed. And what the Bills do and the rest of the league? Unanimously vote against it. We don't want to do that. And guess what? You made that bet a couple years ago, and Patrick Mahomes just tuck y'all behind in tonight. Is exactly what he did. And that's all she wrote, man. This dude is legendary. Just never seen anything like it. What can you say? If you don't think the Chiefs win the Super Bowl after that, I'm sorry. I don't even know if I respect you. I don't know. I don't know. We just have to have a talk one-on-one, man to man. See, I don't know if you got something going on at the house. I don't know. I really don't. Because Matthew Stafford ain't that. No other quarterback that's left is like that. And I love Joe Burrow, but he's not that.
Well, so
I want to leave room for everybody else to talk before I respond.
Okay. So you said a lot of good stuff, Izzo. I think the crowning of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl or winning it all, I think, and I'm just like assuming from your mind, just like all what you said, I think that has more to do with their resume before what just happened recently to be like, oh, okay, they're back in rap form like they've always been. But you talk about like nobody being at his like clutch level, so to speak. Whereas, what's his name?
And I put Brady aside.
Yeah, nah, right. Throwing Brady aside, we don't even touch Brady. But Matthew Stafford has the most comeback drives in the league since he came into the league. I know people may not care, but just for the sake
of how many playoff wins?
None
of just got some playoff wins.
Just recently, yeah. I mean, but you know, just nitpicking at that, and so Christian, I come back to you. Whereas obviously we talked about the holes of the Chiefs, so on and so forth, and I don't know how you may view this now. You said starting off, hey, the way to beat them, or hey, one of their flaws may be they just have Travis, they just have Tyreek. You know, if other guys don't step up, the Chiefs will plummet. Kind of saw that a little bit in the Super Bowl last year. And so I know every time I bring it up, I bring up the stats to just be like, oh, Jerry McKinnon, 5 receptions, 54 yards, 7 targets. Byron Pringle, 5 receptions, 29 yards, 1 touchdown. Mecole Hardman, 1 reception, 26 yards. Noah Gray, 2 receptions, 14 yards, and so on and so forth. Like, when you hear that compared to maybe what you see or maybe just hearing those stats, do you consider that the other guys stepping up aside from Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, or do you say it doesn't really matter what they did because Tyreek Hill had 11 receptions for 150 yards and 1 touchdown, and Travis Kelce had 8 receptions for 96 yards and 1 touchdown?
If we're just talking about, really, I'll say the playoffs, because the Chiefs in the playoffs are not what the Chiefs were during the regular season. But the first 3 names that you brought up, Byron Pringle, Jared McKinnon, and Mecole Hardman. Now, Jared McKinnon was not slotted to start at the beginning of the year. I forgot he was even on the roster. He is the best running back on the team. That's clear. It should be clear to everybody. He is a dog. And so I probably would have changed my tone a little bit if I would have realized that they were going to use him like he's been used the past few weeks. But he's a dog. as far as Byron Pringle and Mecole Hardman, hey, they stepped up. First touchdown. Byron Pringle went up and got that joint. Mecole Hardman shot out of a mother freaking cannon. I mean, this was a 2-yard game, and next thing I know, he's running for 40 yards. That's what he was drafted to do, stuff like that. And so, I believe those guys stepping up in the moments that they did early on in the game allowed Kelce and Hill to have the dominant second half performances that they did, because now the Bills have to be worried about everybody, right? Hey, we try to take away Hill, we try to take away Kelce. Okay, Byron Pringle scores. Okay, Jerry McKinnon's killing us. Okay, dadgum, there go Mecole Hardman. All right, and then next thing you know, okay, they go to Cheetah for 68 yards, and so step up, and it looks like they're coming in rare form. I mean, yeah, I mean they are looking very, very scary right now for the rest of the field. Now, as far as crowning them Super Bowl champions right now, I don't know if we can do that, but they are looking very scary right now. So, yeah, I will say that. Noah Gray though, I mean, 2 for 14. I don't know.
Yeah, I think my last thing to add to the Chiefs Bills, unless anybody has something.
Oh, something real quick. I do want to throw some respect out to somebody else. I was dogging Orlando Brown on the pod pretty much all year, and all season. I mean, hey, now look. Orlando Brown did not play like he was worth that first round pick. Premier left tackle all season now, but he was dogging the heck out of whoever that was at the end for the Bills. There was a couple times during the broadcast where he was literally dogging. I was watching the game with my neighbor. I was like, "Yo, bro, watch Orlando Brown." He was dogging him. I think according to PFF, he was the second highest graded tackle or the first highest graded tackle behind Trent Williams for this past weekend. He balled out. So hey, if the Chiefs can get from all the guys, right? Obviously, if Pat can play like that and not play like he played during the regular season, if we can get from Tyreek what we get from Tyreek and Travis what we get from him, and then the other guys can step up. If we get McKinnon, Hardman, Pringle, Orlando Brown to step up like he did this past weekend, the Chiefs are not going to be beat. The thing with the Chiefs is, hey, can they be consistent for a full game when it counts? If they play like they did during the wild card weekend, they play like that this past weekend.
A full game, but when it counts, though. That's kind of like an oxymoron. Either it's the full game or it's when it counts. Or does the full game?
So okay. What I meant by that. So when it counts, saying what I meant by the when it counts is against teams that can take advantage of them slipping, right? So, the like you didn't say it on the pod. You said it before in the pre-pod. There was a 99.8% chance or whatever that they were about to lose this game. Right. They didn't play perfectly through the whole game. Okay. That just needs to be stated. They did not play perfectly through the whole game, whether that's play calling, whether that's stuff from different players. They did not play perfectly. They did not look like a perfect team out there during the whole game. Okay. They did have a 99.8% chance to lose the game with 13 seconds left. It does need to be stated. Number two, though, if they would have played it how they played in the first half of the Steelers game, they would play that same way this past week, they would have got mollywopped off the field. Now they didn't play that way through the first half. They were still consistent. Mahomes had a look in his eyes. What I'm saying is,
Coach, what I think people want to hear is people want to talk about the Chiefs in a positive light and not hang out around this.
Look. I'm here to bring a little bit of balance.
I want to be fruitful when I speak, and I want to speak.
I got you. I want to bring a little bit of balance.
And brother, and I get that. And
You
what I'm saying, I just don't think we
are
should
making them
end it
prime
on a
fruits.
sour note. It was a bit somber as you spoke those things about your stats and then they didn't really play
Well,
good.
Isaac, you have to also consider that he's gonna harp on the flaws of the Chiefs because he would love to see them dethroned.
True,
So,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I'm just saying it to the tune of how he, I just felt as though as we transition, onto bigger and better things, I just felt like a positive spin ending the Chiefs would be more fitting.
Yeah, I've been positive. I said, hey, they play like that, they will be Super Bowl champs. But we need to understand that the Chiefs have a history of throwing in a towel for a couple of quarters.
Here's okay. So I'll say a couple things, and we'll get off of them.
Tyron was hurt in the secondary, which is why I feel like if Tyron was healthy, they don't get those throws off. But I digress.
I believe one of the most underrated quotes or terms or adages on the podcast comes from Isaac and talking about being situationally great. So guys may take plays off, or teams may take plays off. They may look a little somber. They may look like they are incohesive of, putting together good drives. But when the time is called, will they answer the bell? And thus far, the Chiefs have been doing that. And you could even argue if or when they get to the Super Bowl, you could be bad for 3 quarters, but if the other team isn't able to capitalize on that and you're able to pull off a championship, people are not going to say you was trash for 3 quarters. They're going to say you won a Super Bowl.
They are going to sing your praises.
All right. Winning cures all. Winning covers up all. I was thinking about what you said, Coach Johnson, when you were saying that the coach that you was with was telling me, man, you are terrible at personnel. And I think about, I don't know if you got this same quote from that coach or from that time. Me and you was having a conversation, and it was just like, hey, sometimes when the game is on the line, you textbook plays personnel. I guess if you run the right route, the way I drew it up, I guess I'll deal with you. When the game is on the line, sometimes you don't call plays, you call plays. Mm-hmm. So you got to keep that in your head, Coach. You got to, man.